Yeah, buddy. Hey, this is Jason. The R stands for Ruby Lee, J for Jason. We're at a local Bricklink store out here in Tennessee. I have sent many videos to another channel of mine. I don't know what it is. I've lost it. I'm blank. So sometimes this stuff happens to you when you get a little bit older, but I gave up and I just said, Rubly, I'm just going to just start putting videos into our RJ Cosmic Brick YouTube channel because I can't, I don't know where the other one is or what's happened. But either way, I'm going to just try to give a little tour because I did this actually, believe it or not, a couple nights ago. This is my daughter's phone, Ruby Lee. You got all the storage. I have an old phone that I think if you record for 30 seconds, it tells you you're out of data. So she's asleep right now. So I snuck in there and borrowed her phone. And we have these damn ladybugs out here. I don't know what the hell. Yeah. It's like something out here in Tennessee. I don't know, but they're called Japanese ladybugs. And a couple times in a year, they'll get infested out here bad. It's nutty stuff. It's like everywhere you go, they have something unique that's to that area that is like a pest. Um, so our Bricklink store, we've stayed closed for a long time for several reasons. One is I try to keep all of our prices, and this is something I know Rubley and I, when we talked about this in the very beginning, was we wanted something that allowed our cooperation to be able to be more than just trying to have a little side business or a business that makes a lot of money. I was more concerned about just getting by. As long as I could get by, I was like, hey, the benefits of um, getting into the school programs, the extra activities. Um, this is a full time thing. I mean, you'll spend 5 hours a day sometimes just driving to these events or going to meetings or meeting up trying to get sponsorship. There's a lot of different things that takes a lot of time, and getting into the college scenario, talking to college admission officers, visiting places. I mean, this stuff takes so much time. I'm a single dad. Um, it's different. If you have two people, yeah, one is working, the other one can do a lot of this stuff. My situation, I'm doing it both ways. So, and the sad thing is, I have an ex, but does nothing to help with any of this stuff. So, we're on our own, but we're doing our best and making it work. That's all that matters. And so our Lego journey has gone for many years, but one time when we were trying to keep our prices low, as I was trying to say earlier, when Ruby and I were talking, it's like, hey, let's just keep our prices on the average, a little bit low. That's all we wanted to do. And the problem is, when I opened up my store one time, our store, sorry, um, I didn't have a lot of items, but I'm going to say about 30% of my store was purchased within 12 hours. And that's kind of, I turn around, I'm doing some more work. You're spending a ton of time sorting Lego. You're buying new sets, you're parting them out, and you're sorting inventory. And and next thing you know, they're all selling out. As I was learning, I was trying to look up who's buying them. And then I'm like, oh, their other Bricklink store owners. And that's where I was like, they have the parts I just sold them with about 50% increase on their price. So that that kind of bothered me. I understand everyone's just trying to make money, and it just wasn't what I wanted my store to be. So that's where I kind of was like, well, I'll only sort and do all this for people that I already know that are doing it for mock building, doing it for educational purposes, for their personal collections. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of facilities that build Lego mocks or just small sub assemblies of projects they work on and the real life scenarios, um, whether it's like an electrical substation, power units. It could be a lot of different things, engines, whatever it is, or a part. That's where you get a good group of people, and you're able to source yourself to them. Um, but here, as of this week, I'm opening up. I, I've said this for many times, Rubly, and she cracks on me because she says, we keep saying that, right? But we're going to open up this week. This is February, whatever it is, February the 28th, this Friday, I think is when we're opening up our store to the public. And I hope everything goes good, but I'll tell you, I'll be cautious to if I see somebody just, I'm not putting like limits or anything like that. You clear me out of all parts, that's fine. But at the same time, I better not see it relisted on your website through Bricklink for an increase in price. Okay. I'm not into that. And I only ask people, don't do that. Okay. If that's something you want, contact me and be like, hey, I need a bunch of bluish gray parts for my store. Can you source some for me? Okay. I would probably be willing to do that. I have tons of inventory that I haven't gone through, but I don't want my store. I want people that come to the store to be able to get what they need, because certain parts, they might only need 5 or 10 of a certain special piece. But if I have 20 and someone buys them all for their own purpose of reselling them, it kind of takes away from that person that's trying to build, because he has to go to the other store that now has the parts that probably won't have all the different type of parts. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Um, my store, I think in inventory, I have only about like 600,000 parts, and probably a little over 10,000 different elements. Yeah, I have to look that up. I forget right now. Um, but I have probably another 600,000 parts that I'm just not putting in the inventory as of now. Uh, Still, there's a lot of sorting to be done, but there's a lot of stuff I'm not adding yet to the inventory, for many, many reasons. Um, I do have an awesome opportunity to work with some local people that are trying to do some amazing mock builds as well for their stuff. And I want to make sure I have all the parts available for them at any time. So that's why I keep a lot of stuff not in the inventory, um, for that purpose, as I'm trying to learn a little bit, what parts, certain people do prefer. Same thing with minifigs. we have a pretty good collection of minifigs, but I realize it doesn't take much to wipe those out because somebody we were blessed to meet is a Harry Potter fan, but also an Avatar fan. And Ruby really loved the Avatar sets and was like, definitely was all over wanting to get those when they came out. And, here with the release of this latest movie back in December, they went quick. I didn't have a bunch of sets at the same time, but when those are the only Avatar sets that came out, because with the latest movie, they didn't release any new ones as well. So, um, so replenishing what you sell, I know that's a tricky part, but I think I'm more about trying to really get there to understand what people are doing. I have a huge interest on what people are building. Um, but at the same time, Ruli and I, we're here to give an awesome experience to people. That they also know, yeah, we're going to give you the fair market pricing or lower. There's something that we're selling that happened to be, I don't know, overly priced. We're always like open to modify it because maybe it was either an accident or at that time it was something only available, one set or something, and it was just expensive for us to get. But so many things are like here, yeah. I don't know if I'm showing that right, but so like minifig heads, right? Oops, don't fall. So like these here, okay. So I keep everything in these like trays like this, and that way I have an inventory of what is in what tray, what column, what spot, and it seems to work okay. And I do the same thing with the minifigs, and we just put little plastic sleeves in between them to help protect them. But that minifig heads take so long because there's so many of them, and that's probably several years worth of me just putting them away in an area and to get to later. But some minifigs over here, for example, let me bring you back in here. We keep a lot of minifigs in here, down through here. But yeah, even like we got dinosaur parts. What is it, Dubox? More Dubox. That's why I call them Dubox. That's a neat one. That we just keychains, old keychains, all that kind of stuff. Video, bandmates. Actually, we have both 1 and 2. We just happened. We were in Europe at the time. My daughter was living in Europe, and was it Bandmates 2 that kind of got banned or cut short, had just came out, but it was big over in Spain for some reason, and we were able to get plenty of them. But some of them pretty cool. But yeah, so any of these drawers you open up, like this is the Disney, the CMFs, so you just more or less can open up, see the different parts. And here, in these, we keep like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, Avatar, all kinds of stuff. So as I'm saying earlier, so we'll have like the bin and tray like this, okay, and then it'll have your minifigs, and yeah, it works out good. Okay, so I would know what bin it is, what tray. And that goes with, same thing with Marvel. There are sometimes I don't do that, and I just put them in bags. Here's a good example. Okay, this is the Harry hotter, okay? But like, you know, the certain animals and stuff like that, or certain advent calendar sets, you know, you have so many of them, it's hard. Here's like Toy Story, you know. There's just so many. If I had them in the bins, it would just take up way too much space. And so here, this is all capes, parts like that. This is a cool build my daughter did, Ruby Lee, James Webb Telescope. But yeah, that's how all these are down through here with the minifigs sorted. But there are some that are just like damn ladybug thing. Yeah, so like back in the back here, you're going to see a lot more boxes and stuff, and that's boxes of just Lego sets, you know, like these up here that are, I either need to part them out or sell them. It depends. But it's not like tons of them, you know, but it's enough to keep you busy for probably about 2 years trying to do all that, because the sad thing is that's not the only ones. And then I have another area that's double stacked deep all the way down the wall of Lego sets and boxes like that too. But like in here, all these boxes are all CMFs, okay? Different CMFs, Marvel, Disney, D&D, stuff like that. So if you're interested, so the system here, the way it works is this is a work in progress, and I'll be honest, what I originally planned is not how it's going to be, because I was using the aluminum extrusion, and it really is an awesome build, especially the base structure and being able to keep off the floor, keep things underneath here, and then having slides. So you kind of see the different slides and through there how that would work. The problem is the weight of all the aluminum. It's a lot. Aluminum's light, but I'm telling you, that's a lot. And there's other ways I was going to think about doing it. And actually, what I'll end up doing is just getting like maybe a 3/8 thick piece of wood and then route grooves in there. And that would be the slide system. Maybe a 1/2 inch, more or less, would be probably more proper. But and then you can stagger them offsets to allow different thicknesses, because you might have trays that have different heights, because you might have parts stacked a little bit higher because for space or something like that. You can kind of see like all the trays, how I keep them. I don't have anything overstacked. So when I pull a part out, okay, I don't know if I'm showing that right, okay, easy access. I have 21 trays that I can access with one hand, one pull. That's the convenience of this, but at the same time, like here, you know, I have this out here mainly because I'm working on it. I'm trying to do something with the little ingots, double checking the accuracy of the accounts, kind of like a audit of my counting practices. Because Ruby and I, when we did this, we originally were like, oh, let's just only put like 50% of the parts in the inventory, so we didn't have to worry about, you know, someone trying to like wipe out all the parts. But that's kind of changed, so we're a little bit more open with that, and the people can, you know, get the parts according to, you know, what they need. Like I said, you pull out the slide here and you have access 21 trays, which are one tray, but it's, a nice system for confined spaces. But I'm telling you, even if I had all the space in the world, a warehouse, 100 yards long, then you have to be thinking of the time it takes you to get from one end to the other. Um, and there's ways of getting around that as well. I'm not, dodging, what anybody has done. It's what works for you is what works for you. But for confined spaces, if you go deeper, it works a lot better for having a lot more access. So, in a room that's, I don't know what size this room is. I'm sorry, but it's not like huge. But I easily could have a million, probably like million and a half parts in here. Okay, and let me see. So the time it would take me to walk from one point to the other. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in less than like 6 seconds, I can walk from one end to the other, and you'd have access to all the parts. But you have to have these type of trays. You also have to have it kind of set up in this way, but there are disadvantages of it, and that's something I'm trying to work on, to have a slide system put in that's very inefficient, um, but yet very cheap. You have to play it one or the other, right? Because I need slides for a few hundred. I personally think just a friction slide, which costs about nothing, because you're just going to slide wood on wood. It might work. I'll check it out. I had a certain type of material that I'll show you a little bit, but kind of like on here, So we were showing like different types of materials that would slide a lot better through the aluminum extrusion parts, and that was working really good. But it was just costing too much for the aluminum extrusions to do that, and that's why I stayed with the one section right there, which I'll eventually take down and redo. But first, get the store back open and see what kind of business we can do. And I also hope that anybody that comes to our Bricklink store, please check us out on our YouTube page, and hopefully you'll have more confidence, because I know it's a big thing for me when I'm able to see people in YouTube. You have more confidence that it's real. Nobody's going to scam you, because I've sold on eBay, and yes, it's a scam haven for a lot of people. But I'm sure Bricklink is you know, it's a difference. I know that, but at the same time, I'm sure I've heard some people say some things even I would kind of question, but there are questions I have of a lot of things on practices. If there is any other Bricklink sellers out there, um, let me know how I can reach out to you. I like to, talk with you. I can't text and chat and all that crap. If, I can verbally talk to you, I don't know how, through like video or something like that, or on the phone, let me know. It take me too damn long to write my questions by texting stuff. I'm not able to do that very well. So, but yeah, this is something Ruby and I, the other night, were coming up, and she was asking, if you have a minifig that you're selling on, like a Speed Champion minifig, you see it in Bricklink, and Bricklink shows it with the helmet, not the hairpiece, the helmet. This, and it shows you the average price. You're selling it for that average price. The customer buys it, but he also wants it with the hairpiece and the helmet. But what do you do? Because I'm kind of like, well, I didn't. Sometimes you don't even know there was a hairpiece with it. Now, how would you not know? Well, be honest, if you bought the set 4 or 5 years ago and you're just parting them out and you're you taking them out of the boxes, put them in the bags, you know what? You don't know. Okay, just trust me, you just don't know if it came with a hairpiece. And you know, do you send the hair pieces to the customer? Um, you know, because then I'm like, I think they've been relisted in the hair pieces as parts. So I'm taking them out of inventory to send them for free to somebody that wasn't really part of what was shown. But on my side, if I'm buying a minifig that came with a hair piece for that character, it should be included. It's just Bricklink doesn't show it included. So, what is the proper thing to do? That I'd like to know because I don't know the answer. Um, the people's channels that we watch a lot of them, and I'll be honest, the ones I like the most, the best, I love about new elements and new colors. That's something I really enjoy. So, um, the couple channels out there that speak only about the new elements, the building techniques, there's some really great ones. Um, there's another one, 1957. Um, man, he's awesome with his army builds, his castle builds with the Kraken Knights he just recently got. So all this stuff is really neat. On the other end, KD Bricks with analytics and stuff like that. It's interesting. I kind of like it in some senses. So people do know. Don't think all Lego just oh, I'm buying it. I'm gonna be a millionaire. You're not. Okay, it's it's a fun thing to do. I've worked in engineering all my life, and I'm just saying there's other ways of um, making a buck, and you just have to, find out what works for you. Because for me, you know, I enjoy this. I enjoy the parting out. I enjoy um, the inventory, the auditing. Um, that's something I really think's fun. Weird, but that's what I think. Um, I think it is right. It's like a really unique community in the Lego business. Um, so I see that a lot. I think the people that normally enjoy to build, they're very they're very happy and content with themselves. You know, if you're getting into other things, I think it's a little bit more, I want to say more competitive, but it's very intense because it's like the Pokemon. I don't see many people that really are just buying Pokemon because it's fun. People will buy Lego because it's fun. Whether you're a Bricklink store or not, you'll do it. Um, but I don't know about the other part. I of course I don't have Pokemon. Um, now we have Pokemon Lego coming, so that might be an eye opener for all of us. So please, keep an eye out. I'm gonna probably be posting a lot of videos more often now, and once I get this thing started, to have the store open to the public to see what we can do and how it works out. We have a lot of Ninjago, a lot of Star Wars, but nothing. We're not talking anything like 10 years old or 20 years old. Everything I have is new, uh, pretty much new. There might be 20 items I have that were I don't know where they came from, so I'm not listing them as new. And if anything looks a little used, I just throw it away. So, because I'm like, I don't know where it came from, but because a lot of the stuff I bought in Spain when Ruby was living in Spain, and then we had to transport it all the way back here to the U.S. Cost a fortune. Don't ever do that. But yeah, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm so sorry if I'm distracted. See, it's the ladybugs. I mean, the Japanese ladybugs. It's like worse than a fly, you know? It's so crazy. Um, the set's coming out, by the way. The Van Gogh sets. I'm telling you, people, this art collection, it's just starting, and I'm telling you, I don't have any, but I am really wanting some to have on my walls. That James Webb Telescope Ruby Lee built. She won first prize actually in a competition for it, which is cool. Not like a huge competition, but um, it's a frame, and that you can mount on the wall, which is like the perfect scenario for Lego. How you display stuff with shelves and stuff is have a picture frame, and some of these pictures are just beautiful. I know a lot of people don't like the Mona Lisa, but I'm telling you, it's you're going to regret it about 5 years later when they're going to be like, "Oh, I remember the Mona Lisa." It's not supposed to be pretty, okay? Remember, the Mona Lisa got all its prestige because it got stolen years ago, in Paris and got put back in the Louvre. And I remember Ruby Lee and we went there, what was it? It's been almost 2 years ago. It was actually when the Olympics were about to start in Paris. And we went to the Louvre, saw the Mona Lisa. We were more interested with other things with the Olympics starting, but also the Notre Dame was about to reopen. So in person, it's just like, yeah, it's not a pretty painting. It's not like some, I love Salvador Dali. Um, there's a lot of different artists out there that, I think would be nice. I'd love to see like some stuff of Goya's. Yeah. Yeah. Dali, Goya, and Escher, American artist. I would like to see some of his work as well. Um, but yeah, there's just so many. And Ashley, um, what they really need to have is a painting of. They did this with Starry Nights, right? The little minifig with the painting, right? They need to do that with this guy, the happy painter, right? The guy with the big furry hair, right? Because to me that's so cool. Um, but these are things that can be done that I think it'll take Lego in another direction, just like the flowers have done. Uh, you know, everything we got going out there with the IP addresses are really cool, but paintings, portraits, I should say, in a way, yeah, that I think it can be really amazing. The people who did the Milky Way, I've heard great things about that as well. So a lot of cool stuff out there. My One of my favorite sets. I love Animal Crossing. Sorry to tell you, I never played the game or knew that it existed, but I think it's cool. That's what I like. Speed Champions. I like Speed Champions. I like Ninjago. Um, I like Star Wars, but this might catch some of you off guard, but I like the new stuff. Um, I went to the movies in the '70s when Star Wars came out, and it was amazing. It really was. I remember seeing The Return of the Jedi in the theaters. Some of this stuff was really cool, but stuff that's like the Bad Batch, I mean, it's great. Um, Andor, I people can't top that. That's just mind-boggling. Characters like the Inquisitors, unbelievable. They're so cool to me. And what was the other one? Cad Bane. You know, so there's a lot of the newer stuff from Disney with Star Wars. I like it. I think it's awesome. I can't think of some of the other ones, but the to me, the Bad Batch was really, really a great uh, thing, and it freaked me out because I was like, it's kind of cartoonish, and I didn't want to watch it for a while. But once I got started, I couldn't finish it, without stopping. So that, and what was the other one? Uh, do, 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 uh, Come on. Um, Star Wars, I'm trying to think of, or part of the series. The Obi-Wan, I like that. That was an awesome series. The Mandalorian, I like it. I like the first, second. I like them all. Yeah, the first one's the best, but it was still good. Um, white people, sometimes I hear this stuff, I'm like, dude, I don't know, maybe it's because younger people, when they see the Star Wars, the originals, see it from a different way. I don't know what it is. For me, when I see it, I'm all like, oh, it's so fake, you know. But you know, um, it's a great movie. It was probably because it wasn't thought to be a series at the time. We never knew that was going to be the case in a way. So when Empire Strikes Back, then you have the Return of the Jedi, then you're kind of getting into it. Then they kind of start looking back at it as like, wow, let's go back in these others. Um, and yeah, why is there so much hate for Rey? I have no idea. Okay, I thought she was a good character. The one I can't stand. Oh gosh. Um, Leave comments if I have it available because I don't know who is like thinking this, but the character that plays. Oh, I want to. Okay, I want to make sure I have this right. Okay, it's because I forgot the name of the movie. Okay, before he. Okay, okay, before. Okay, so he kind of falls in love with the princess, right? He's supposed to be the bodyguard, right? I won't say the name, okay? And later on, we find out, I guess she had a baby, right? Um, so then next thing you know, he's kind of like going to the dark side. He ends up in the lava pit, okay? His master, so because it's my fault, I lost him, whatever. It's his character is it's like terrible. It's like if I was called up from Disney and like, hey, we have an emergency. Can you come and play a character for us in a movie? I'm like, I don't know anything what I'm doing. Oh, it's okay. It's a Star Wars thing that you just have to act like you're a Jedi and stuff. That is how it portrayed to me. Okay, it was terrible. It was just and I have a couple of those sets with him. And every time I see that set, I'm like, oh gosh, he's the worst actor there is. But then I've seen some other people like, oh, he's the best. So it's different the way we see things. But Just do what you can. This is again a long video because I can talk and talk and talk, but it gives you a good reference to know about us here at R&J Cosmic Bricks, what we do, and if you have any issues or whatever, we're here to resolve them. Okay, we're here to work together with the community and the Bricklink and the Lego community. It's what we're about, and we really don't want any bad apples out there. So, um, you know, any words or encouragement, I'm always open ears to hear. There are people out there that are in the Lego community, um, whether you're the investor side or the Bricklink store owners and stuff. I like to hear it all. I can't tell you. I probably spend, I'm going to go with an hour and a half a day listening to YouTube videos, probably more like 2.5 hours of people. So I've listened to almost all of them over time. Um, I think I started probably, phew, I used to work at Barnes and Noble in Ohio, and there was another gentleman that worked at Barnes and Nobles in Ohio, and he soon quit and started a Lego business. And he partnered up with a guy named Shane. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but the guy's good, and he really has brought to the forefront a lot of good information, but also from a different point of perspective. Um, some of the things that were done back then, I can understand the how people can get upset with each other. Um, People take advantage with taking a lot of information because, believe it or not, this business in the Lego industry, there's a lot of data out there that is very important to know. And once you know it, it's very beneficial. There's a lot of things I don't know. I don't know what's the best selling parts, the colors, and anyone can say, "Oh, the dark bluish gray." Duh. Well, it depends too because it might be what type or what pieces. You can look a lot of this stuff up, but it's more than just that because you have to have all the other items or you're not going to be that person they're going to go to. And that's the tricky part. So, um, that's where I'll just have to be a little cautious because I don't get wiped out with inventory and parts because we try to keep our prices pretty low, especially with our minifigs. You won't see things above market value through Bricklink averages, and that's how we like to keep it. So, alrighty, I'm gonna upload this because it'll be the first one in a long time, and last time before I could finish, the phone died. So I better do it now. Thanks again. I'm Jason. We're RJ Cosmic Bricks. And I think our email is the same thing. It's rjcosmicbricks@gmail.com. I don't know where her card is she made, but um, yeah, it'll be on there somewhere. If not, next video I'll put it up there. Thanks again. Bye-bye.